Hello friends, welcome to Sachu's Biology. Today I am going to explain about human digestive system. Digestion is a process in which complex food materials is broken down into simpler substances. The various steps involved in the nutrition in human beings: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and digestion. The nutrition in human beings takes place through human digestive system. The human digestive system consists of the alimentary canal and its associated glands. The various organs of the human digestive system in sequence are mouth, esophagus or food pipe, stomach, small intestine and large intestine. The glands, which are associated with the human digestive system and form a part of the human digestive system, are salivary glands, liver and pancreas. The human alimentary canal, which runs from mouth to anus, is about 9 meters long tube. We will now describe the various steps of nutrition in human beings. Ingestion. The human beings have a special organ for the ingestion of food. It's called mouth. So in human beings, food is ingested through the mouth. The food is put into the mouth with the help of hands. Next, digestion. In human beings, the digestion of food begins in the mouth itself. In fact, the digestion of food starts as soon as we put food in our mouth. It happens as follows. Mouth cavity contains teeth, tongue and salivary glands. The teeth cut the food into small pieces, chew and grind it. So the teeth help in physical digestion. The salivary glands in our mouth produce saliva. Our tongue helps in mixing this saliva with food. Saliva is a watery liquid, so it wets the food in the mouth. The wetted food can be swallowed more easily. Many times we have observed that when we see or eat a food which we really like, our mouth waters. This watering of mouth is due to the production of saliva by the salivary glands in the mouth. The salivary glands helps in digestion by secreting enzymes. The human saliva contains an enzyme called salivary amylase, which digests the starch present in the food into sugar. The slightly digested food in the mouth is swallowed by the tongue and goes down to the food pipe called esophagus. The walls of the food pipe have muscles which can contract and expand alternately. When that slightly digested food enters to food pipe, the walls of the food pipe start contraction and expansion movements. The contraction and expansion movement of the walls of food pipe is called peristaltic movement. The stomach. The stomach is a J-shaped organ present on the left side of the abdomen. The food is further digested in the stomach. The food is churned in the stomach for about 3 hours. During this time, the food breaks down into still smaller pieces and forms a semi-solid paste. The stomach wall contains 3 tubular glands in its walls. The glands present in the walls of the stomach secrete gastric juice. The gastric juice contains 3 substances: hydrochloric acid, the enzyme pepsin and mucus. Due to the presence of hydrochloric acid, the gastric juice is acidic in nature. In the acidic medium, the enzyme pepsin begins the digestion of the proteins present in food to form smaller molecules. Thus, the protein digestion begins in the stomach. Please note that the protein digesting enzyme pepsin is active only in the presence of an acid. So the function of hydrochloric acid in the stomach is to make the medium of gastric juice acidic, so that the enzyme pepsin can digest the proteins properly. Another function of hydrochloric acid is that it kills any bacteria which may enter the stomach with food. The mucus. The mucus helps to protect the stomach wall from its own secretion of hydrochloric acid. If mucus is not secreted, hydrochloric acid will cause the erosion of inner lining of stomach, leading to the formation of ulcers in the stomach. The partially digested food then goes from the stomach into the small intestine. The excess of food from stomach is regulated by a sphincter muscle which releases it in small amounts into the small intestine. From the stomach, the partially digested food enters the small intestine. The small intestine. The small intestine is the largest part of the alimentary canal. It is about 6.5 meters long in an adult man. Though the small intestine is very long, it is called small intestine because it is very narrow. The small intestine is arranged in the form of a coil in our belly. Please note that the length of the small intestine differs in various animals depending on the type of food they eat. For example, cellulose is a carbohydrate food which is digested with difficulty. So, the herbivorous animals like cow which eat grass need a longer small intestine to allow the cellulose present in the grass to be digested completely. On the other hand, meat is a food which is easier to digest. So, the carnivorous animals like tigers which eat meat have a shorter small intestine. The small intestine in human beings is the site of complete digestion of food. This happens as follows. The small intestine receives the secretion of two glands, liver and pancreas. Liver secretes bile. Bile is a greenish yellow liquid made in the liver which is normally stored in the gallbladder. Bile is alkaline and contains salts which help to emulsify or breaks the fats present in the food. Thus, bile performs two functions. Makes the acidic food coming from the stomach alkaline so that pancreatic enzymes can act on it. And second, bile salts break the fats present in the food into small globules, making it easy for the enzymes to act to digest them. Pancreas is a large gland which lies parallel to and beneath the stomach. Pancreas secretes pancreatic juice which contains digestive enzymes like pancreatic amylase, trypsin and lipase. The enzyme amylase breaks down the starch. The enzyme trypsin digests the proteins and the enzyme lipase breaks down the emulsified fats. The walls of small intestine contain glands which secrete intestinal juice. The intestinal juice contains a number of enzymes which complete the digestion of complex carbohydrates into glucose, proteins into amino acids, and fats into fatty acids and glycerol. Glucose, amino acids, fatty acids, and glycerol are small water-soluble molecules. In this way, the process of digestion converts the large and insoluble food molecules into small water-soluble molecules. Next, absorption. After digestion, the molecules of food become so small that they can pass through the walls of the small intestine and go into our blood. This is called absorption. The small intestine is the main region for the absorption of digested food. In fact, the small intestine is especially adapted for absorbing the digested food. The inner surface of the small intestine has millions of tiny finger like projections called villi. The presence of villi gives the inner walls of the small intestine a very large surface area. And the large surface area of the small intestines helps in the rapid absorption of digested food. The digested food, which is absorbed through the walls of the small intestine, goes into our blood. Next is assimilation. The blood carries digested and dissolved food to all the parts of the body, where it becomes assimilated as parts of the cell. This assimilated food is used by the body cells for obtaining energy as well as for growth and repair of the body. Last one is digestion. The part of the food which we eat cannot be digested by our body. This undigested food cannot be absorbed in the small intestine. So, the undigested food passes from the small intestine into the wider tube called large intestine. The walls of large intestine absorb most of the water from the undigested food. Due to this, the undigested part of the food becomes almost solid. The last part of this large intestine called rectum stores this undigested food for some time. And when we go to the toilet, then its undigested food is passed out from our body through anus as fecus or stool. The act of expelling fecus is called egestion or defecation. The excess of fecus is controlled by the anal sphincter.
Thank you for watching.